thank you for braving this heat. I'm sure some of us decided it's just too hot. But today we are going to talk about eating to live and eating your water. So I have some special guests that are going to speak with us for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to do two really quick cooking demonstrations because it's too hot to do what I really wanted to do. We'll save the other when it's more conducive to us being more relaxed and not pouring. Anyway, thank you for coming. As you know, I'm Deborah Peak Haynes, and wherever I am, I call it Deborah's Healing Kitchen. So I am very concerned about our people because, and this is the only thing I'm going to say about this, not everyone, but many of us think getting a vaccine is a panacea for everything, and it's not. The panacea for everything is doing what we can to protect our immune system. And that's just common sense, which I don't hear enough about, and that really concerns me. So my purpose is to encourage us to take better care of ourselves. I made a post a little while ago after reading an article that every year, for I don't know how many years, but every year, over 600,000 people die of heart disease. But we're not talking about that. So when you talk about COVID, we've had a little over 600,000 die within the last almost 2 years now, or 17 months or something like that. But 600,000 people every year, and we're not talking about it. So I want us to talk about the common sense things that we can do for ourselves. As I said before, when you live under oppression, it affects your immune system. When you're stressed, it affects your immune system. Our water, bad air, living close to too many electrical, the towers and electricity. And then on top of that, many of us live close to landfills, which is very unhealthy. But God is good because He has given us resources so that we don't have to be sick and our bodies can withstand a whole lot. Our bodies are just really awesome, and if you give your body what you need, it will sustain you. But we just haven't been doing that like we should. When my mother was growing up, she told me all the things her mother knew to do for her. And it was just part of their nature because they knew they had to do what they needed to do to survive. They didn't have access to doctors. So they knew to go in the garden and pick out what they needed and make some tea and drink it, make sure their system was clean. They were out in the air. They had more vitamin D naturally. We hide from the sun, and I'm not saying you should burn yourself in the sun. I'm not saying that at all. But we need natural vitamin D because that protects your bones, that protects your stress, that protects so many things. Vitamin D is essential for your immune system. So just think about how many of us never go outside. So what is that doing to our bodies? So that affects our immune system. What I do is I take extra vitamin D3 every day, particularly now with all this that's going on. So you have to do something to protect your immune system, your vitamin C. I talk about eating to live. Fruits in season. Now the stone fruits are in season. Your nectarines, your peaches, plums. Cherries are excellent if you have arthritis. It helps the inflammation in your joints. And if you are diabetic, you can actually eat nectarines. Nectarines and peaches have been known to be good for diabetics. So there's things we can do. And then on the other side, we need to eat our green vegetables. Collard greens, turnips, mustards, kale, all of those greens. Cabbage, I'm going to try to do a really quick coleslaw for you because you should be eating more raw foods when it's hot. Remember, raw foods when it's hot when it's cold, you eat more cooked foods, but don't cook everything out of the food. Remember, you're eating to live, but you should also enjoy it. Our palates, meaning our tongues, have been contaminated by being used to eating things that we love to taste, but that's really bad for us. I just want us to know you can change a few things, and your food can still taste good and not be harmful to you. So that's what I want to encourage you to do, is just make a few changes. Eating more live foods, because if you want to live, you got to eat energy, not dead food, okay? So today I have two really wonderful women that are going to talk to you briefly about what they do and their expertise. I want to, how many of you know we have a garden here at the church? Everybody knows that. Okay, great. We just had quite a few volunteers sign up because we need help with the garden. We have a garden manager. This is Darcia Houston, and she needs help. She can't do the whole garden by herself, but she has laid it out, and she has scheduled different types of seasonal plantings and harvesting, and so we want you to be a part of it. You'll be able to get some of the fresh vegetables and herbs, and we actually have some herbs for people that signed up. The first 20 people that signed up, you get fresh herbs. But because everyone's not here, you'll probably all get fresh herbs. So I want, first of all, to thank everyone that volunteered. The volunteers, raise your hand. Thank you all so very much for volunteering. Appreciate you. And I have Miss Till, Miss Clotilde Pettis, who works with me, is always there. We have our AV, we have our communications, Friendship West, and thank you so much for being here. So first, I would like for Miss Ava Combs to come. And Ava, I would like for you just to share a few things that our people, our listeners, can do to help them move, particularly those that have pain in their joints. And Ava is a fabulous trainer. She has all kinds of certifications, but she's actually helped people rehab, even though she's not technically a rehab person, but she's actually rehabbed a lot of people that I know. So she knows what she's talking about, and she works with me. I'm probably one of her most difficult clients, but she's been with me how long, Ava? About over 5 years, 10? Anyway, it's been a long time. I'm going to give you the mic, Ava. Please tell us what we can do in the next 5, 6, 7 minutes to strengthen our bodies and keep us moving.
First of all, I would like to say thank you, Ms. Deborah, for allowing me to talk about exercise. I just have 2 questions. I have 3 questions. Who all exercise? Who all exercise? Who all like to exercise? Who all do not exercise? Okay, all right. Now I know what I'm working with. Okay, the thing about exercise is there's an over range of all different types of exercising. And we all know that we should, right? We know that we should. We should. Even if we start out with just 3 days a week doing something, at least start walking. And there are so many different types of exercise that you can do. Once you start, you can do different things, and what happens is you'll start liking it more. Because as long as you're consistent, 3 days a week is even good. 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And once you start doing 3 days, eventually your body will say, okay, I can do more. So you can start doing 4. But we need to do different things to see exactly what we like to do. Walking, learn how to swim, running, treadmill, elliptical, any of those. We need cardio, and we need some form of strength training. We need at least strengthening at least twice a week. at least twice a week to keep our muscles strong. We need to do that. Which Ms. Deborah already have the food down, but the exercise, we definitely need that at least 3 days a week. We will start exercising after today, the one that do not exercise, right? Yes, okay. So exercise helps with your brain, your heart, with your endurance. It helps with anxiety. It helps with stress. When I've always exercised, so I can't say that's what started it. When I was young, I started, and I never stopped because it helps me mentally and physically. And that's what it does it would do that for everyone. Mentally, physically, we need to exercise at least 3 days a week. I can't say that enough because we need to do it at least 3. And then our body will say, okay, it's time to do more. Or do something different pertaining to exercise. Because stress is out there. Everyone have it. It's how you handle it. It's how you handle stress. So, the ones that's not exercising now, will you start? There we go. Wonderful. And the one that's exercising at least 3 days, you go to 4. All right, wonderful. And then just go on, or just change up. There's swimming. Swimming is an excellent type of exercise. Walking, just start with walking. If you haven't, just start with something because we need to. I know it's hot. You can get up really early in the morning and go. I know some of y'all don't want to get up early, but then to go join a gym, or wait till late in the evenings, or buy a treadmill at home, and we can do that. But I can't stress enough, we need to exercise at least 3 days a week. So we good to go? Anyone have any questions? We good?
Please tell me about the class you do online where they don't need any equipment.
Okay. I do a virtual class. It's through Facebook. And it's a virtual class that ladies, when they stay at home. There's some ladies that don't want to come out. So ever since the pandemic, they've been staying inside the house. So you can go online, and the name of the program is StreamYard.com. And StreamYard.com, you can register, and I'm there Mondays and Wednesdays, and it's from 10:30 to 11. It's only 30 minutes. Only 30 minutes. And it's a really good class. And my website is fitnessbyava.com. And if you have any questions, if you need a personal trainer, I also do group classes. If you need any, I'm really like an overall. If you need martial arts, I do all of it. I'm like all into one. So if you have any questions, you want to email me, fitnessbyava@yahoo.com. That's my email. My website is fitnessbyava.com. And you can call me, you can leave me a message, and I can give you a call back or email me back, okay?
And Ava, please tell them why it's important to tone your stomach and what that has to do with your back.
Oh, okay. And I had a question, where is she? Oh, she's over there. She was the one that asked me about the stomach. Okay, main thing is, our center of our body is our core. So we need to always have strong abs because it goes hand in hand with your back. So when you strengthen your stomach muscles, you strengthen the back. Because once you have strong abs and strong back, you can do almost anything. Using your stomach muscles, and you won't end up walking here. Your shoulders will be back, and you actually pick your feet up and walk. Strong abs are so important. But what we have to do, the eating is the number one thing. The cardio, what we don't want to do is do a lot of stomach muscles, stomach abs, because it'll just make the fat hard. So we want to get rid of the fat and then start toning it, doing more abs. But we can do, from the side, we can do planks. Planks is just, everybody know what a plank is? Okay, I'll demonstrate if you don't. Planks, and we can also do the going to side, with or without a weight. Okay, yes ma'am.
So you mean to tell me if I want to lose my belly fat, I should not get on the floor and start doing sit-ups right now? I should
Well, the eating, which is number one, you eat healthy already, and then you should do planks because right now, if you have fat there, you don't have that much. If you have fat, you want to get rid of it before. If you want like a six-pack, you want to get rid of the fat and then start working. But you can still do planks. Planks is always good. Anybody, always. You can from here. This is a good one. You can keep your stomach muscles in here, and you can do it with the weight. Feet shoulder width apart. You can go from side to side, working your obliques, which is the sides, and then from here. This is one, each side. You can always work, and then a good thing is, I'll just volunteer this. If once you work your stomach muscles here, if you don't have weights, with that, and then go walking, get your cardio in, because what you want to do is get rid of the fat here. Get rid of the fat, but the number one thing, and don't come back and eat a lot of fatty foods and salt, because that's defeating the purpose. You want to get rid of the fat and then work on the stomach muscles, abs, obliques, and here. You can do a lot of them just standing up, and you can do a lot laying on the floor. Yes, ma'am.
How many minutes?
Walking, you always want to do at least 25, 30 minutes, and you can always do more. Always do more. Because the first 10 minutes is basically just warming up. Yeah. Warming up, and then do your 30. Anyone else? Then do your 30. Yes, ma'am. Bicycling is excellent. Yes. Yes. And the main thing is when you exercise, and always keep your stomach muscles in. Don't let them hang. Always keep them in. And the bike is wonderful. The spin bike, you my spin bike? Or are you talking about the regular recruitment bike?
It's just a cruiser bike.
Okay, yeah. But just make sure you're keeping the stomach muscles in. That's what I'm saying. Exercise is excellent for, any type of exercise. It all depends on you being consistent in how much you're doing. I can't hear you. Oh, that's good. We okay? Ms. Deborah?
Ava,
Yes, ma'am.
please tell them about using the chair and how they stand up and sit down and how that helps. Because you gave me the example that a lot of people, when they're older, they just plump down in their seat because they have no muscles in the back of their leg.
Okay, I've been doing fitness classes for 26 years. I started really young doing it. But when I started working with seniors, which was 13 years ago, I had to learn how the body, as they get older, what I need to do. So we was in chairs. So I would sit, and I would look at my class and say, okay, I need to see what they need, so I would have them walking. And then when they sit down, I'll see what they couldn't do. So we start working on that. The first thing I start working on is the stomach. Basic things, stomach muscles, and then lifting the knees. Feet shoulder width apart, press down on the heel, stomach muscles, stand up and sit down. We stand up and we would sit down. And the purpose of that was to keep them from pushing down on the quadriceps or pushing down on the chair, to be able to get up without pushing down, standing up and sitting. They got that down. And then I start working on balance, them having more balance, using the stomach muscle. But I never went away from using the core, because that's one of the most important things. Stomach muscles, back, strong abs, strong back. And then you'll be able to do everything else. And then you'll be able to pick your feet up from side to side. You'll be able to move. My class that I've been doing, they are so advanced. And I always teach my class, whatever I tell you, I go over and over, repetition, over and over and over. So if I'm not at the class, if I had to miss, they can do the class themselves. And that's the purpose of it, being able to do it yourself. If you can't do it in class, do it at home. If you can't come to class, do it at home. Those are just simple things. And I just work with people that whatever they need, that's what I work. Can I say one other thing? One other thing that I started before the pandemic is I took over a class at the YMCA, and when there was mixed class, it was mixed 40s, 50s, 60-year-olds there. And when I looked at everybody, and I asked them, I said, if you were to fall down, can you get up? and 60% of them said no. They said, we can't get up because we stop, that's why we don't take baths. It's because we don't feel like we can get out the tub. And I said, okay. I said, that's what this classes will be on, getting down and getting up. So in 2 weeks, everybody could get down, everybody could get up. But the main thing is helping people at their own, what they can't do, just help them able to. And they're now, most of them said, okay, now I can get out the tub. Now they take baths. But at first they couldn't. What?
Very good, Ava.
Thank
Thank you so much. And please see her after we finish. And as I said, she's been working with me for a long time. And we do a lot of balance, and we do a lot with the stomach. And, you know, I always want to be able just to hold my position here. As I said, you know, some people 20 years old can't do this. So you need to be able to hold your position, okay? So I hope you feel inspired. And some of you people that I know very well that aren't exercising, and you know who you are, I will be talking to you by yourself later. Because I care about you, so we got to exercise. Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes came out. That was so kind of you. You know, he's been struggling, has been in a lot of pain. And so we just really appreciate that you came to support the class and be supportive of me. Thank you very much. I love you, and I hope that you're feeling better. So now I'm going to do something real quick, and then we're going to have Darcia come up and talk about her herbs. So thank you, Miss Robin. Miss Robin, how do I work this? I got it. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to sanitize, and that's another thing about eating to live. We don't sanitize our hands enough, our kitchen enough. So make sure that you sanitize your kitchen. I like to use products that don't have chemicals, so I use a lot of 7th Generation and Method. So there's other products that can sanitize that use essential oils. Essential oils have a lot of benefits, so try to find things that don't have a lot of chemicals, because remember, you're ingesting the chemicals, and that's not good. So remember, sanitize, make sure your kitchen is clean, and that you keep your hands clean. I was in Whole Foods today, and I was looking around and happened to look at the bakery section, and there were some people back there talking, and I saw a gentleman cough in his hand. He didn't have on a mask. He coughed in his hand, and then he touched boxes. He wasn't touching food, but he touched boxes. I was like, this is not good. So what did I do? I just nicely went over to him and pulled him to the side. And I said, I know you're very busy. You probably weren't paying attention, but you coughed in your hand, not your elbow. And, you know, I just wanted to remind you of being sanitary and washing your hands. And he at first was a little stunned, and he's like, oh, I really appreciate you telling me. Thank you very much. So if you're nice, people will accept what you're saying, because, of course, he didn't have to accept that. But I thought, you know, as a consumer, I don't want another consumer to have to deal with his hands touching their food, and they're not clean, or he didn't have on any gloves. So anyway, we have to speak up sometime. So I'm going to make this really fast, hopefully, cabbage. I want to make you a really fast cabbage. And Till, would you open this, please? Cabbage has a lot of healing properties. It's great for if you have cancer. It's good for boosting your immune system. I'm going to use purple cabbage. Google, how many of you use Google? Okay, how many times have you looked up anything about health on Google? Okay, we need to do that. I cross-reference different sources. I just don't look at one, I look at different sources. But cabbage, cucumbers, nectarines, plums, oranges, All of these foods have water content of over 80%. So when I say you eat your water, that came from a doctor friend of mine in Detroit. She said we need to eat our water. Many of us don't drink enough water, so if you eat fresh vegetables, you're actually eating water because it's high water content, all right? Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to add purple cabbage just because I want some color. I think we're blowing away. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to mix it up. So let me show you this. Thank you. Okay. Your cabbage, first of all, I just kind of cut off the stalk at the bottom and set it down, and then looked at the ridges, and I try to cut the cabbage according to the ridges, because your foods are made with energy, and so the way they're formed, that's the energy, so you want to cut with the energy. That means that you're getting more energy out of your food. Does that make sense? And then Darcy can talk about the roots and the tops. So for instance, like a carrot, you should cut it on the angle if you're going to do it that way. But for the purposes of this today, I'm looking for my carrot. We're going to grate carrots for the purposes of this. Okay, so I'm just mixing my carrot. I already washed this, chopped it up. The purpose of me showing this is to show you how you don't have to have too much mayonnaise in your coleslaw, because a lot of times we put too much mayonnaise in our coleslaw. So anyway, this is a grater. All of you have a grater at home? Okay, let's see. This one could be a little bit sharper. You want color in your food because you want it to look good. You want it to have color. Color means that you're eating an array of vitamins. And you know, carrots are good for your eyes, good for fighting cancer. A lot of people that have cancer have found a lot of benefit from drinking carrot juice, you know, fresh carrot juice. The fresher it is, the better it is for your body. Okay. And then I'm going to cut this onion according to how it grows. So here is the onion. We're going to cut it down the middle. Well, first of all, I'm going to take this off just for this class. Let me write. I'm trying to do this quicker than normal so you all won't melt, because I know you're so sweet. How many of you like coleslaw? Okay, good. How many of you are honest and you put a ton of mayonnaise in it? Nothing wrong with being honest. Okay, so I'm just going to grate the onion. And you can prep your cabbage early, put it in a bag, and then when you feel like making the coleslaw, which hopefully will be within the 24 hours after you bag it. Some bags are flying over here, Miss Till. You can grab it. If I was doing this at home and I had a whole cabbage, I would probably put at least a half of onion in it. But I'm trying to hurry this. Anybody have any questions why I grate this? Thank you, Reverend Haynes, for coming. Be safe. Pray for him. He doesn't know. Thank you. Okay, so I grated the onions. You can also put daikon radish or a red radish. You can grate it and put it in here. It kind of gives a nice bite. And also, that's good for your liver. So if you have excess mucus, you know, you're always sick with a lot of mucus, eating A daikon radish is really good for the liver, and even eating the red radish is good for your liver, but the red, of course, is good for your heart. So remember, these colors are coordinate back to things that are good for you. I need my spoon, please. Okay, this is something I keep in my kitchen all the time. Anybody use apple cider vinegar? No. Yes. Let's wipe this off. No. This is good. This is good. Okay. So I'm going to just eye this. But if I were to measure this out, I would say for this amount of cabbage, which is half, I'll use about maybe a third cup of apple cider vinegar. This is mayonnaise made with avocado oil. So maybe I'm using no more than 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And I'm just mixing it together. If you have a whisk at home, this would work better. I'm going to use my Himalayan sea salt.
Why do you use Himalayan sea salt?
Because it has minerals, it's not pure sodium, and so the minerals are much more healthy for you, and it's not pure sodium, and it helps balance out your pH. Plus, it tastes really, really good. So I'm going to put some in here and stir it up. And we're having the hardest time finding white pepper. I usually use white pepper because I think it tastes better and it's easier to digest, but I'm going to use black pepper today because we could not find white pepper. I don't know what's going on. Must be something going on in the market. But anyway, however much pepper you want. Pepper is really good if you're using turmeric because it helps your body absorb the turmeric. And turmeric is really good if you have any kind of inflammation. Any type of sickness typically has inflammation. So you want to eat foods that will help you lower your inflammation. All right, so I'm just pouring this over the slaw. And you can give me a little bowl, please. So I'm going to taste this after I stir it up. Ain't got a fork? So read the labels of your olive oil. It's very hard to find, not olive oil, I'm sorry. You read the labels of your mayonnaise. It's very hard to find mayonnaise without canola oil, which I try to stay away from. It could be toxic. But you can find mayonnaise typically it's made of avocado oil or olive oil. Try to do that. That's much healthier for you. So let me, a little bit. Anybody have any questions about that? They have it in most grocery stores now, but you can always get it at a health food store. Sprouts, Whole Foods, Cox, Ann's. Okay, I'm going to take this down so. I had Chris taste my cabbage. We did a video shoot the other day. I'm going to walk away from the food to taste this. And Chris tasted my my coleslaw. And he doesn't particularly like coleslaw, but he kind of liked this, Chris, right? Okay, good. That was a good sign. Pretty good. Just need a little bit more salt. Napkin, please. A little bit more salt, a little bit more mayonnaise. Where's my mask?
Right there.
Well, I tell you, this COVID stuff is really a trip, isn't it? but you have to pivot. Okay. And I want you to eat this really fast. They're going to put some in a cup so you can taste it. Let me just stir this up. A bit more. So make sure that you're not using more than a teaspoon of salt if you can help it. But as I said, this is not pure sodium. All right, so they're going to put it over there so you can taste it. And put the top on this. The last thing we're going to do in a second, we're going to do a really fast stir fry with curry powder. Why curry powder? Curry powder has a lot of turmeric. And so it has a great flavor, and it's really good if you have inflammation in your body. So it's really, really, really easy. I'll get my large pan. Oh, here it is. And we're going to pray that we can light this lighter. Let me put this away. How many of you eat cabbage? How many of you cook it till it's limp and has no more life? Okay, so you're cooking all the vegetables, all the vitamins out of it. You know, when you start cooking your vegetables differently and it has a little bit more crunch, after a while, when you taste something mushy, it just doesn't taste good anymore. You have to retrain your tongue and train your tongue to taste food like it's really supposed to be. We've adopted some very bad habits. So we can change that around, okay? So the whole question is, do you want more energy? Do you want to feel better? Or would you rather be sluggish? Would you rather be out of shape? That's really basically what it is. Is it more important for you to eat the things that give you a temporary pleasure, but in the long run send you to the doctor, you're on all these medication? Did you know it is not natural to be on medication as you age? Did you know that's not natural? But we bought into a system that makes money off of us. So we've got to take this back. God is so awesome. He's just saying, go back to some of the basics. Just some of the basics. We don't have to be sick. It's not natural for you to be on 10, 12, 15. I think Ava told me she had a client that had 20 different pills every day. What do you think that's doing to you? It causes Alzheimer's, dementia, depression. It, kind of starts shutting your body down. So we don't have to live like that. Sometimes medicine is necessary. I'm not saying that it's not. But I know people that have even turned around their blood pressure where they don't need blood pressure medicine. I know people that have actually turned around their diabetes. They're no longer diabetics, but they took the action and they had the discipline to turn it around. So I just want some of you to know you can actually do this. It does work. But first of all, if you're going to do anything, what's the first step? Any of you that heard me speak, you already know what the first step is. What is it? I can't hear you. Nope. You got to change your mind. If you're going to do anything different, that's in life. You got to change your mind. So, Darcia, I would like for you to talk about the herbs we're going to give out, what's in there, and just give us a snippet of some of the health benefits of a couple of these herbs, so we can make sure people will know what to do with the herbs.
All right.
Oh, let me give you your mic.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They're taping, so.
Awesome, everyone. How are you all doing? Thank you for coming. So excited. I am Darcia Houston, also known as Major Melanin. I am a farmer. That's what I do for a living. Agriculture is my life. I love the soil. I love the sun. I love water. I would never do anything other than teach you all or ask you all to join me in my mission to inspire healthy habits. But working here at the garden at Friendship West, I've been able to meet some wonderful volunteers such as Brother Thomas and Miss Mary, and we have been successful in trying to create a space where your land could be your medicine, where your food is your medicine. And we totally understand how to kind of like read the land. So we had volunteer opportunities where there was like wild lettuce, dandelion, thistles, you know, just things that we're praying for. There's medications that we're taking, but yet the Almighty has already put them in your front yard. You might not have them in your yard because you do use, you know, grass seeds, and, you know, you kind of want a green lawn if you have a yard, but the yard isn't really producing. You have to pay for it and you're watering it, but you could have things like herbs in your yard or herbs on your patio or in your window or something of that nature to improve your health, to add to your produce or whatever it is you're eating now. If nothing else, I advise you to incorporate herbs at the smallest level. If you're like, okay, I don't do fruits and vegetables like that, I don't like the way it tastes, I don't like the way it looks, I don't like the way it smells. Well, hey, let's just incorporate herbs, because now we're talking about seasoning, right? We're not talking about a whole meal. So we can start with our seasoning, and today we have some things we're gonna give you that I wanna talk to you about directly. Everyone knows about mint, so we'll go ahead and start with mint. Mint right here, as you see, it's kind of going to seed. It has flowered at the top. And this wonderful property, it's wonderful to cool the body. It's a cooling system already. That's why we kind of put it in, you know, teas, and it's in your gum, you know, it helps you feel refreshed. That is within the whole system of the body to help you. Mint, it grows wild, it's ratchet. I mean, it is just, it's so aggressive. This is like not a passive aggressive plant at all. It will take over anything you put it in. So there that is. And then, I'm not sure, let's try another one you all know. Anybody know what this one is? Oregano. And I'm trying to show you the flowers so at any stage you will understand what you have. Oregano is the #1 for female reproductive organs. This is your friend. Make oregano tea. It goes in your pastas. It can go in your soups. It goes in my beans. It goes in my avocado. I even bathe with it, okay? You know, put it everywhere. It just does what it does. And there's nothing it can do to you or harm you or hurt you at all. So these are things that you can add, and you won't, like, you know, have to sue anybody because you've taken too much, or it's jacked up another organ because you've been taking it. What else do we have? Oh, we got a wonderful one here. Now, I know everybody eats this at least once a year. Sage, yes, totally. It is popping here, and I thought it was a winter crop. That's why we planted it towards the winter. I'm just learning this crop, you know, year round, and it actually was hiding all of my eucalyptus because they kind of look alike, so we didn't know that we had eucalyptus out there growing. So really cool. But this is your muscle relaxer. Sage is a wonderful muscle relaxer. You know, the jitters, you know, at nighttime, you just can't calm down. You know, you're just moving for whatever reason. This is a wonderful tea. I would enjoy or ask that you enjoy it in the sense that you might actually use it for a tea and you're adding it to a salad or something, because now we're talking about replacing salad dressings. When you have a lot of flavors, when you can take a leaf of your sage and you can take some oregano and crunch slice those up or chop it up or however and add it to something, now you have flavor, so you're reducing the amount of dressing that you'll need on a salad. Oh, this very important puppy right here. Yes, this is wonderful thyme. Now we have a few different thymes in the garden. This is the traditional thyme that you would know about. We do also have lemon thyme, I believe, in the garden. It's not big yet, so it's not enough to harvest, but thyme is an antifungal. You know, we take a lot of different things. Oh, my toenail getting dark, you know, or this is happening. You know, you know, kind of when you're off balance, but what is that misalignment? What is happening? And that's where you kind of go to the herb that kind of helps that out. But this right here, it doesn't take a lot. And to even harvest it, you kind of go against the grain, and it's very easy to harvest, meaning harvest it off of the stem. So you see that I'm just pulling down simply. And I didn't ruin it all, you know, I just kind of like pulled down on it, and it really just came off. And I promise you, if I put this little bit in my soup, I will taste it and know it's there. So it doesn't take a lot, which is why you also know that the Almighty is so amazing, because it's so little that takes for these particular products to go in our body and really, really activate some things. All right, so we have, oh yeah, y'all know what this is. You know. This is good old basil. Good old basil, yes, good for the blood. Wonderful. But I got a friend over here next to it. So we gotta, you know, we kind of see that this doesn't have any color to it. So it doesn't have any melanin. You know, melanin dominant people kind of need to go for melanin dominant produce. Things that have color. And this good old basil next to it is called cinnamon basil. And it's got a purple, you know, tint hue to it. So with that said, it's more for your cardio, more for your heart, more for your blood. Wonderful addition to a tea. So you might slap this whole thing into your spaghetti or lasagna or something, but then you can save this top, all the seeds at the top, put it in a paper bag so you can have seeds for next year. Doesn't matter, you keep it a whole year in that bag, and then you can plant those seeds and it'll come right on up. We've been successful here with that in the garden. And then this cinnamon basil, in my opinion, I would use it in teas, but I would boil it twice to get my tea, and I'd add some honey or something to it. But we're gonna talk about some combinations in a second. Does anybody know, oh, my time is getting ready to go away. I'm out of time. So, now this is a hard one. Looks familiar, looks like it has a friend, but this is tarragon. Tarragon, I love tarragon. Put the tarragon with the cinnamon basil and you got some things going on, because this is really, really sweet in flavor already. Wonderful for the brain, good for blood sugar, good for keeping that in check, tarragon. Another one that we have down here, oh, let's try this baby here. I know you know what this is. We eat them all the time. This is a chive. And the reason I bring this chive around to you, and I'm gonna come and show you, but you see the seeds at the top? You see that it has, you see those black little seeds in there? Yeah. This will all has been reseeding itself in the garden. I have had to do nothing. Winter time, it doesn't matter. And if I actually put these seeds in my hand, it will be enough to plant a whole row. We've already have what we need. Just a little black specks are totally seeds that are falling out in our gardens right now. And with that said, we can regrow. It'll cost me what, $1.20 to buy the pack of seeds? And then now forever, I will forever have chives. It is such a sustainable process, it's not even funny. Let's see, oh, yeah, everybody knows this one. Lavender, help you calm down. Put this on with the sage, and they grow so good together too. The things that really go together, grow together. Do you know who's basil's best friend in the whole wide world? You said pepper? Peppermint. Tomato. That's why they come in all the jars together. Farmers are not trying to be creative and love to put, you know, they're not chefs. They don't care nothing about, you know, your tomato sauce having tomato and basil. They just have to grow together for the farmer to be sustainable, because they're friends and they communicate very well together. No different than the cucumber. Who's the cucumber's best friend? Dill. That's why we have those pickles, but there's no other reason. There's no other reason, I promise you. It's how it goes for the agriculture world. this wonderful evergreen right here, rosemary, another antifungal. So we eat them, we grow with them because the ground needs these antifungals and antibacterial items as well. Regardless of what life needs, a check and balance system. And herbs give us that check and balance all the time. And let's see, I thought I had one more in here. This puppy, I just found her today. I was so excited. I will be going home right away to eat this one. And this is pineapple basil. It smells like pineapple. It tastes fantastic, especially with the cinnamon basil and that tarragon. Add some honey. We're growing stevia back there at the garden too. Oh, it is a life around here. But all of these teas, because at the end of the day, you know how like some of your plants, they go bad. They get like the brown leaves and stuff at the bottom. And we're like, oh, let's get all this off. It don't look good. Harvest all of that because those are your seasonings. That's exactly what's in your seasoning shaker. They're not actually going and, actually dehydrating all of your leaves and crushing them up to put them in your seasoning. No, they're going to go grab all of that stuff on the ground and they're going to sift through it, get the dirt out what they can, and they're going to grind it and they're going to sell it to you. So you do the same thing. Take your older leaves on your herbs and make sure that you put them in a tea bag so you can make your own tea. It's all about recycling, maximizing the dollar for industry, like the raisin. You think they're really, they're going and getting all them old grapes and they're making raisins. It is the byproduct. So we can make sure we're having our own byproduct. It is so important for you to incorporate natural, healthy herbs and produce in your diet. And I don't care if you go get a pizza tomorrow. What you gonna add to the pizza to make sure it moves through your system properly? That's all I want you to think about. How are you going to keep what you're doing now and add on these herbs from your garden? This is your garden. You all go to this church. This is your remedy. This is your medicine. You got it. Come on and volunteer. Learn how to do it for yourself. I will show you. Let's get it together. Y'all gonna come with me? Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. You got a question, young man? Oh, you gonna come? All right. I appreciate you. Yes.
Darcy, I'd like to say one thing. Yeah, we have a list, so make sure, sir, that you sign the list. We would love it. Okay, so we have someone extra special, and I hope she's not going to be shy, but I want her to come and do a sampling.
Yes.
And tell us which one of these she likes.
Oh, awesome.
So she doesn't know.
Okay.
I'm coming after her. And she is very special because she's the youngest, cutest thing here.
Awesome.
I want you to come with me. Give your grandmother your phone. I want to show you something, okay? Okay, come here. We're going to have a little experiment with you because you're smart. Okay, so Darcia, could you, first of all, let her take a leaf and put it in her fingers?
Yes.
Just, grab a leaf.
Take a leaf off.
Take a leaf off.
Break one of these leaves off.
Just take a leaf.
Right here.
Where's your other hand? Yeah.
Take that. This leaf right here. Yep.
Yeah, okay, Darcia, so which one is this?
That's pineapple basil.
Go rub your fingers together and then smell it. Smell it. Okay, does it smell like, pineapple? You can smell it? Okay, so now let's do another one. Right. So, Darcia,
Let's try lavender.
Okay, take a leaf off the lavender. Let's pull it.
Pull it.
Now, rub your fingers together. And now smell it. Smell it.
It smells like apples.
Really? Okay. She said it smells like apples. Okay. Now we're going to take one of those. This is sage. Yeah. Yes. Okay, no. First rub it, and then smell it.
Smell like.
Okay. Does that remind you, do you remember sage, if you have turkey or dressing? That's what you put in turkey or dressing. Let's do another one. What's a good one?
This is oregano. That might be there we go.
What is?
Beautiful.
Yes, beautiful. Okay, take a leaf, one of these. Just grab a leaf. Okay, now rub it in your fingers. Okay, now smell it.
Smell like pineapple.
That's pineapple. Now, which one?
It's not pineapple, it's mint.
That's mint.
I love
You love mint? Okay, well that's mint. All right, let's do one more. What's this one, Darcy?
Cinnamon basil.
This is cinnamon basil. Okay, rub your fingers together. Now, smell it.
It smells good.
It smells good. Good. Okay, so Darcia, no, you have a little pocket. You could take those leaves home. Those are your leaves, and you tell your grandmother you want to get some from the garden so she can put it in her food that she cooks for you sometime, okay? So take those with you. Thank you for coming and demonstrating for us. You can have your seat. Thank you. Thank you. So Darcia, when you talk about sage helping anxiety, tell us how can we use it, because how many of us have been anxious in the last year or two? Okay, so what can we do with the sage? How should we use it to help our anxiety?
For me, I like to use it all the way around. I want to use it holistically, meaning the stems too. So I am going to use the stems and maybe a leaf or two for the tea, which means I'm going to boil it for that tea. And I don't strain that tea. I don't use a cheesecloth. I don't use a coffee filter. I just literally wash my herb and I boil the stem and a few leaves. And then once again, because I think that sage and rosemary do fabulous together, sage and rosemary, sage and lavender, I'm going to use some lavender inside of that boiling water. The other leaves that I have from that sage, I'm going to chop up. I'm going to put raw into my avocado or something, a salad or something, and I'm going to cook it into something else. So all the way, when I decide or I go get an herb, I'm going to use it in many different things throughout that day so that I get all of the properties that I can ingest it. Because not all of us respond or ingest or, need the same things. So I'm considering my family. I'm considering my kids too. So at the same time, it's very typical that some children might not eat all of their raw foods. So I'm trying to get it in everywhere. That's my purpose. That was my overall thinking with my early childhood education background. But yeah, always trying to, if I'm gonna take this mint, I don't know another recipe other than tuna salad that I would maybe wanna put mint in. So if I'm gonna eat it raw, it's probably gonna be in that particular fashion. But I believe that soups and teas are one of the best things that we could use to, as far as medicine for our bodies, and it's the fastest thing you can ingest. But no, smell is the fastest to get to your brain, but taste and nutrition-wise in your blood, yes, ma'am. Insomnia. For me, it's a combination of things, and that would definitely, because muscle relaxer is something that is relaxing the brain as well. I would stick with the lavender. I would go with that sage. I would use lavender oil as well, and all of these herbs can be infused. You can make your own essential oil as well. You do not have to wait or buy or purchase. You're gonna have to, do a recipe, meaning put it in some oil, whatever you choose, whether it be sunflower oil, jojoba oil, or whatever oil you want. You would let it seep in that oil to make it. But I would use that on my body. But I would do a lot of physical activity before bed. I would keep myself out of my room, and then I would drink that tea, and I go through a process. I make sure like I'm kind of journaling, I'm dumping my brain, because women, we don't usually turn our brain off at night at all. So you're constantly thinking, in your dreams you're thinking. So once you journal, you're kind of, dumping everything, and then you get in your planner and you plan out the next day. You really don't got too much to worry about but you at that point. So yeah, I done did my workout. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna write. It's like this whole process that I go through for insomnia. I did used to suffer from it drastically when my kids were smaller, but now agriculture puts me out. Yes, ma'am.
What time? time is it?
Great question. Thank you so much for asking me that because I did want to say it. So I have the water already kind of boiling as you would like your eggs or something. I put it in that boiling water. I tried to hold on for 15 minutes. I hope I can think about it to come back because it's aromatherapy to the house too. If you want to control the house too, you can, I mean, these are the herbs to do it. So this tea is helping the house, and I forget because it smells good, and I got the music going, you know, and I'm working with my plants. So I'm trying to get back in 15 minutes to turn it off. Not that I'm going to take it out the water. I'm just going to turn it off. I want it to seep for at least 30 minutes if I have to ingest it right then. But the main goal is part of that nighttime, you know, structure is let it seep in that water. You go take your bath and stuff. You do everything. I forget about it. The next day, the tea is out of sight. It's so infused. And then you can just do it with your water, too. It doesn't just have to be a tea. You can, Mr. Fred White that works here, you probably already know him. He's a chef. He comes to the garden in the mornings, leaves his bottled water in the car. And then during lunchtime, I guess he goes to eat some lunch, I think, and he puts his bottled water in the refrigerator, so that is on his way home. So he wants that, you know, warm water to infuse his water. So he's not making tea, he's actually doing infused water. And, you know, it's kind of the same thing, but if you don't have a stove or you're doing sun tea, because a lot of my elders back at home, they did glass jars with tea. So I guess they would just put herbs in the water. Yeah.
Dandelion, because
Yes.
we had a lot of dandelion.
Yes. Awesome. So dandelion, did you know? Folgers coffee, you don't need that. Just go on out there in that yard and pull up that dandelion, and the root of the dandelion, if you roast it, is your coffee. The actual dandelion leaves, detoxification for the liver. Of course, the dandelion seeds, let it come back. But a lot of us want a golf, you know, yard, like we're actually at a golf course. And so when we see that yellow in the yard, we feel like it's against the law, and we go do something about it. But this is also the crop that is trying to explain to you where all of your compaction is in your yard. It's trying to show you that the calcium can come up and there's something there that needs to come to the surface. And this is the crop that's trying to bring it to you. But we don't like it, we don't want it because we don't know it. So dandelion is one of the freest things that you can have to work with your liver, which is the detoxification. I mean, that's like the central of filtration in your body. So it's right there in the yard. That's why I say we're praying and we're praying for a solution. And you might open up your door and it might be right there. Because there was also thistle that we had. We had so much dandelion, we had so much thistle, and these are wild lettuces. And as soon as you broke the leaf, it just started bleeding the white milk.
Like,
Yeah, the white milk that comes out of the plant. I don't care where you break it. When you break it, there's a white, silky, substance that comes out, and it actually is a protectant. You can put it on bug bites and things of that nature too. So all the way around, it's a vegetable. And not many people know what the fruit or vegetable is. I want to ask you, is corn a fruit or a vegetable? It's a fruit. Corn is a fruit. What is the definition of a vegetable? The definition of a vegetable means that you can eat the whole plant from the root to the stem to the top. We do not eat all of that corn. We do not eat all of the avocado. It is a fruit. Of course, we do not eat all of the tomato plant. We only eat the fruit. When you can eat the whole thing, like okra, you can eat everything. The stock, everything of an okra can be, it's ingestible. But if it's not, it is a fruit. And we're misguided in that. So a lot of times we're eating a meal and we will eat our vegetables before our fruit. Well, when you have kids, ladies, we give them babies that fruit. Then we go to the vegetable. Then we go to the grains and the rice and the meat. We go up. because it's easier for the body to break down, and those sugars are needed right away. So if you can think about how you feed your baby when your baby comes, as your baby starts growing, that's the order in which we need to digest the food. If I go and say, "Ooh, girl, that fruit salad looks so good," but I just had a piece of chicken, so I'm putting the fruit salad on top of the chicken. So the chicken's gonna take forever to break down in my body. But the fruit salad's up there decaying. So now you got gas. You see what I'm saying? How it breaks down? So we're eating out of order all the time. And that's a big, big problem. And that's why Deborah's Healing Kitchen is so phenomenal as far as making sure that people are understanding what the recipe could be that goes along with what you should be eating in season. Thank you so much for your time. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Say it again. Yes, the garden is here. We need volunteers. It doesn't look like you have everything, but you've got everything. Let me show you what you got.
Oh, yeah. Please give them the days and the times.
Yes, will do. True to you. All right, so today when I came this morning, which mornings are lovely, look at these wonderful cucumbers we've pulled out of there, these puppies. There's some different ones. These are different varieties. So you have a pickler, and you have it was probably a straight 8. I should have harvested a long time ago, but you have 2 different varieties. You can't go pickle anything now. You have to actually have a pickling cucumber to actually pickle.
And that's almost, that's about 90% or more water.
Yes, and it is your number 1 electrolyte. Forget Gatorade and Powerade. Use the mint, the tarragon, and the cucumber. Now you are talking electrolytes. Now you're talking about motivation station for the body, energy. And here's our onion that we harvested. We harvested some heirloom tomatoes. So those are cute. And yeah, just different varieties of tomatoes. And Miss Teal always gets me with she always gets the green tomatoes because she loves them. She always comes and gets them from me. But I would love to share these items with you. They belong to you. They're for you. And please come out to the garden and get them.
I'm Darcia.
On Tuesdays, we are having volunteer opportunities in the evenings, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And that will consist of weeding right now, definitely weeding. And weeding is so important because the soil is so beneficial. You know how we're talking about sanitation now, and people touch things and they get sick. Well, you can touch things and get healthy too. It goes both ways. It's not all about getting sick every time you touch. Please touch things to get healthy, and that soil will do so. So actually weeding and pulling up, getting connected with the land, it is so beneficial to your health beyond the definite reasons about being outside and breathing great air and being in the sun. It is so beneficial. Tuesdays, and then 5:30 to 7:30, we're having orientation these next 2 Tuesdays. So looking forward to seeing you all. And if you can't make those particular days, let me know when you can make it, because we got other duties. I need a coffee grinder, breakdown lady or person, somebody just to come, and all the coffee grinds that we have to put it somewhere. Very, very simple. There's so many small jobs. We're not going to put you to work and hurt you and you be out here, cracking a whip and I'm like, get some water or sit down, nothing like that. It's totally chill. It's so laid back and we learn from each other. So cool. But bring the babies.
And what's the best age?
I would say we've had, Miss Raina was so cute and she was 3. She was so good and she was just showing me everything she pulled up. I think that 7 or 8 is really good, but if you have your grandbaby or somebody with you that's younger and they love to be outside and everything, they're not gonna hurt nothing. I don't care if you got a stroller, bring that baby on. Be outside. We can do it.
And so now, when we talk about the summer harvest, when will that be? I know we're needing to weed, we're trying to clean some things up, but what's the next harvest, and then when's the next planting?
Yes, so we're constantly planting. We just planted moringa trees. We just found a toothache tree out there. I've planted feverfew. We've got comfrey growing out there. You know, this is a medicinal garden in addition to. So we're constantly trying to weed so that we can make sure that we have more cucumbers to harvest all summer. Tomatoes, we will continue to have herbs. Peppers, garlic is in the ground. We got to talk about garlic because, you know, sometimes, you know, things get covered up. You know, because, you know, everybody's doing stuff, you know, so the garlic kind of got covered up, and I'm finding it, though. I'm going to go for it, but it's not against the law if we don't, because it would just reseed and it will come back next year. But garlic is a crop that goes in October, and it doesn't come out until June or July. So it holds on for that long. So in between, volunteers and people can get confused because I'm still planting around it and in it. It's just in the ground.
Do we have lettuce coming up again?
Lettuce will in the fall.
Okay, and I'm after her all the time. I
Yes.
said, look, you have to have me some turnip greens, some mustard greens, some collard greens. So
Yes.
that's on the menu.
Right, it's totally on the menu. Mr. Steve just said it too. He was just like, you just make sure you have them greens ready, and I'm gonna get them greens ready for you.
Good. And so, Darcia, I have the first 20 people.
Yes. I got you.
I'm going to call out your name so you know you have a bag, but I want to give it to you after I let you sample this last piece that I'm finishing up. And it'll just be a second. It's Jacqueline Miller here. Great. Yvette Henderson. Wonderful. Is LaTronda Williams? Okay. Is it Ratna or Ratna Long? Who was that? Williams? I can't read my writing. Okay, Thelma Jones. Jeremiah McDaniel. These are the first 20 people that registered. And I said, the first 20 people that register, you get your herbs. But as I said, I think most of you will be getting herbs anyway. Of course, Sister Patterson, Marjorie Patterson, who's always so supportive. This Sister Patterson one time came to my class. She was so sweet, and she was so grateful, and slipped me a big check just to encourage me. And I was like, oh, this is so sweet. So I appreciate you, Sister Patterson. Jacqueline Ezell. Is it De'Erica? De'Erica Hang, okay. Brian Thompson? Nope. Crystal Coleman. Rosalind Smith. Is it Don Stubblefield? Rosalind? Yes. Is it Don Stubblefield? No? Is it Dan Joyner? No? Okay. Eugenia Rogers, Sister Rogers, is a member of Deborah's Healing Kitchen. You can become a member, and membership has its privileges. So you go to DeborahPeakHaynes.com if you want to sign up as a member. One other thing, I started my online classes on Teachable. So if you go to my website, Deborah Peak Haynes, you'll see the banner that shows you how to get to Teachable. So if you want to just watch a video, I have several different classes. Ms. Till is trying to sell my books right now. The books will be available. You can see Ms. Till right after, okay? So you can have the book to support what we're doing because there's a lot more information in the book. You can also go online. I have different videos. I'm adding on to them as we speak. And please tell your family and friends. You can go to Teachable and watch the videos. Okay, Tellis Scarborough. Wonderful. Felicia Scarborough. Are you related? Okay, good. It's so nice to have you. Rhonda, is it Duran or Durant? No. Rhonda, is there Rhonda here? No? Okay, so I think we should have enough for everyone, but let me show you what I'm doing really quick. My sisters wanted to be very sanitary, so they actually used up our gloves, so I'm using my hands here. But this is what I have. I chopped up cauliflower and broccoli. I'm going to use garlic powder because it's easier for it to absorb. Maybe I'm using about a tablespoon. This is a big pan, I'll show you. And then I'm going to make sure I mix it up. I put olive oil in the saucepan, and if you can see, this is a pretty big saucepan because I want to make sure everybody got a taste. But olive oil, I wouldn't use a lot, I just used a little, and then I used a very little water to steam this, but it still has a crunch. Okay, so I'm going to put more garlic powder. Now you can use fresh garlic too, you just have to make sure you use enough cloves, depending on how much you are going to make. And then this is curry. How many of you ever had curry? Curry powder? Okay. And so for different twists, you can just have curry powder. I'm going to try to hurry up and get this out of here. Till, could you take this off? I want to make this quicker. And then I'm going to add turmeric. You know, they use turmeric to color different dishes, but this is one of the healthiest things you can eat because it will help with inflammation and pain. So it is an immune booster. And right now we need all the boosts we can get. Okay, and then you can use pepper if you like, but I'm just going, and you can also use ginger. Usually I'll do the curry powder and ginger, and this is no calories, okay? So you're not adding any calories, no calories, but you're adding a whole lot of flavor. And then salt. Where's my Himalayan sea salt? And I will taste this, because I know if it doesn't taste right, you will not go home and try it. So I actually steamed this just for a few minutes while Darcia was giving her presentation. Wasn't that wonderful? Darcia actually travels the country and even international, learning more about urban gardens and farming and organic farming, and she's a wealth of knowledge. And doesn't she have extra energy? Well, that's because she's in the garden and she's eating all the things she talks about. Darcia, I thought she was about 30 when I first met her. And then I found out she had 3 children and a grandchild. And I was like, what? Oh, now it's 2, okay. But she is a jewel. All right, so let me have a bowl so I can taste this, and then we can give this to them and then hand out their herbs. I need a fork, please. Fork? Thank you to my assistants so much. Let me see. And, you know, for those of you that have husbands that don't like to try anything new, I'll have to give a secret. There's at least one husband here. He'll have to hear this secret. So you can't tell the other men what I'm saying. First of all, don't tell them what it is. Just let them taste it. Because you tell them what it is, I don't like that. Have any of you ever had that experience with men? Okay, just let them taste it. Then later, you tell them what it is, once they decide they like it, okay? So if you love them, don't you want them to live? What did you say? That's true. Okay, a little bit of salt, we're ready. A little bit of salt, and we're ready to roll. I'm gonna do a little bit more curry because I want them to taste the curry. So remember, if you have arthritis, any issues, get your curry. I even put curry on other vegetables. I made some macaroni and cheese the other day, and I do a non-dairy cheese. I use Here's to Your Heart or Daiya, which is, they're vegan plant-based cheeses, and I added a little turmeric to it. It was just wonderful. So I'll let you check this out. Okay. So let me know what you think. Any suggestions? I'm open. I just want you to try something new. Have any of you ever had stir-fried broccoli and cauliflower with curry? Okay. So this is something new, right? Okay, good. And you can adjust the seasoning because you might want a lot more garlic. You might want pepper. You might want ginger. Just try it. So right now, the names that I called, could you help me hand these out? Okay, it's Jacqueline Miller, Yvette, just raise your hand. Is it Latronda? Latricia. Really? I'm sorry, I really messed that up. Thelma, was Thelma here? Is it who has the last name McDaniel? Any McDaniel? Did I say Sherilyn? Did I call someone Sherilyn? No, Sister Patterson. You got yours, Sister Patterson? Jacqueline? Ezel? Oh, you got it. Okay. De'Erica? Brian? Crystal Coleman? Rosalind Smith? Right there in the, oh, you got yours, okay. And is it Don Stubblefield? Last name is Joyner. Is there Joyner? Sister Rogers got hers. Anthony, McLeod, Tillis, Scarborough, Felicia Scarborough. You got yours. Okay, Rhonda. Who didn't get one? Okay, so Trina gets one right here with, yes, with our volunteer. Okay, who else, who didn't get one? Raise your hand. We should have a plenty. Okay. And our volunteers get to take it home too. It's right in the back. You got yours? No. Who else? Do we have enough? Did everyone? Well, if you didn't get a bundle of herbs, can't they have some of the produce, Darcia? Now, if you don't want them, it's okay, but we want you to try something new, and our yes, volunteers need a bundle. And also Darcia, so we can't separate these?
Yes, we can.
Because we can give this away too.
We sure can. So we gave everybody, so you need one? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sister Rogers? What are you laughing about? Oh, how to keep it. How should they keep it?
Like a bouquet of flowers.
Where's your mic? Yes, put it in water like a bouquet of flowers. I wrap, Darcy is okay, I wrap a wet towel around it and put it in a plastic bag. Can you do that?
Yeah, you can totally hold them how you would your herbs that you already purchased from the grocery store. So however you know are holding them, I would hold them the same way. I gave you the bag. I would go home and rinse them just to add water to them and give them some life. And rinse the bag out and put them back in that same bag. I usually tie the top to keep in some moisture, so it's looking like it's in a big bubble. That's how I keep mine in my refrigerator. But when I know that I want them to be out like a bouquet, I'm literally going and harvesting so much. I'm sitting it on the table. I don't got time to buy flowers. Even though flowers, a lot of flowers like dragon flowers and stuff are beneficial. Impatiens, all of them flowers you can eat and are edible and have things. But these ones, I would put them in a bouquet if I wanted to, or I'm going to put them in the refrigerator to maintain them. If you accidentally leave them in the car, you forgot. Because you about to leave here and you done went to the store and you forgot them in the car and you wake up and they brown. That's okay. Just rinse them off and boil them right away. You know, you could freeze them if you needed to add them to a soup or something. They're just not going to be as crispy. But you can get the nutritional benefit from them regardless, if they die or if they don't. Even if you want to go home and you say, oh my gosh, this was the best date ever. I'm going to hang them upside down and like my roses, you know. And you can do that too. And once they dry out, you can use them as dried herbs.
Any other questions for anyone? Yes. It changes.
Yeah, it does change. Thank you.
So we can, maybe for the fall, we can list some of the things that we have in the garden.
Yeah.
As the fall comes, we can just kind of put out a list. These are the things that we're growing, and maybe put a few items that how they benefit you.
Definitely. In season, your greens and things, that's going to be easy. That's going to be really easy. Your best bet is to go to volunteer.
Okay, any other questions? Yes.
Is there a reference book that says this herb is good for this?
There's tons of reference books, tons. Go to the bookstore, go online. I mean, there's tons of information. One of the books that's very old and it's very thorough is Back to Eden. Have you heard about that book? It's an old book. It's been around forever. It's very thick. It talks about healing foods. It talks about honey, grains. It just really goes into depths of what was in the Garden of Eden and why it was so special and how we can use those same things now. Someone else had a question?
I just wanted to hear what word you were saying.
Eden, you're Back to Eden. I mean, there's herb books. When I go to the health food stores, many other health food stores have books, and I'll look at them to see, what they have. So I have books on, juicing, on how to cook with herbs. We just have to be a little bit more aggressive about, the information that we're looking for, because we tend to just do the same thing and not look and seek. The Bible talks about seeking and finding. I mean, it's all in the scriptures, but you have to want to know and not be so comfortable and set in your ways.
Half-price books is the best because you can go read them. Half-price books.
Yeah, and even I like periodicals. There's some really good periodicals about food and health. There's a periodical called Forks Over Knives. 2 movies you should watch on YouTube, Forks Over Knives and What the Health, Health, What the Health. Very informative. It will blow your mind. So Forks Over Knives and What the Health. I'm teaching classes in some of our schools, middle schools, and it started at Lincoln High School. And we showed them these movies, and the kids didn't know. But it really informs you on our food system, also our medical system, and where it's failed us. But we have the mind to know. We just have to be open. So yeah. Tons of information. Just go to a health food store or go to Barnes & Noble or Till used to have a black-owned bookstore. And there still are, you can go to Pan-African. Yeah, Pan-African, what's the address?
I know it's on Marsalis, but I don't know the address. I go to Marsalis in Ann Arbor, right there on the corner, and they are...
Pan-African Connection. Also, Sankofa, which is a black-owned restaurant, they have books. You can go to the restaurant and buy books. So let's support our black-owned businesses, but go down the street on Camp Wisdom and Pastor Bailey Boulevard to Sankofa, and they have some wonderful books. So it's very easy. Just start looking for, the information. Any other questions?
The address, we got it. 4466 South Marsalis.
Anybody have any comments about the curry on the vegetables? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And that was simple and inexpensive. And just make sure you're eating your vegetables. How many of you eat vegetables every day? Good. Very good. We just want to increase that and eat more. And I believe the serving size, if you just, according to the palm of your hand, because everybody's palm is different. If you look at the serving size, make sure you're eating several servings of vegetables the size of your palm. Like for me, I'll eat a huge bowl of greens, and that takes up all that I need, because I put my greens in there, sometimes my onions on top. Sometimes we have a black-owned business, they make chow chow, which is very southern, and I'll put a little bit of that on top of it, or a little bit of, they call it pepper vinegar. So, just things you can do that you can really enjoy. That's good for you. Any other questions before we wrap up? We're good? So I think we got out of here before time, right? So I want you to see Ava Combs if you need to start your exercise program. Fitness by Ava. Ask her some questions. She's very knowledgeable. Talk to Darcia. Where are the sign-in sheets? Everybody sign their name. I need your zip codes. This is part of the CDC grant that the church received, and the purpose is to promote better health in communities, particularly zip codes that have the largest health disparities. But at the same time, we want to reach anyone that wants the information and they want to become healthier. So make sure I got all of your zip codes. We'll be having some other classes in the fall, and I welcome your comments. Please go to my website, DeborahPeakHaynes.com, and you can leave me comments. My email address is Deborah, D-E-B-R-A, at Deborah's Healing Kitchen. And I would love to hear your comments on how I can make it better for you and some things that you might want to know about, or other things you want to know how to cook that's healthy. Don't come to me asking me how to cook a steak. I will not tell you that, because I don't want you eating it, okay? But if it's vegetables or fruits or grains, even some fish, sometimes I can tell you that. So you got it? Oh, we're good? As I say, the old folks say, all hearts and mind clear? Right. Thank you so much.